What is up, guys? It's Andrew. Today I'm going to be doing a challenging video of reviewing the entire Infinity Saga, giving 30 seconds to each movie. Alright, let's get started. The first movie on the list is Iron Man, 2008. I like... Okay, wait, hold on. We're going to edit that part out. First movie on the list, Iron Man. Alright, I really liked Iron Man. First movie introducing Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. He's like a playboy guy who is a billionaire, makes weapons, gets kidnapped, and there's an insanely good character arc in the movie. He's kind of goofy, sarcastic. Anyway, I really liked the movie. Definitely great opening. Begins the entire MCU in a great way. And The Incredible Hulk. I didn't watch it. Next movie is Iron Man 2. Alright, Iron Man 2, it was weird. I didn't really like it, but that's okay. Marvel's just getting started. They haven't had very much practice. It gets better. The villain was weird, and I didn't really get his motives, but that's okay, because he had whips, and that was cool. But I think that there were, drones and stuff, which is whack. Moving on to Thor. Okay, Thor was an incredible movie. I really liked it because Thor's, one of my favorite Avengers, so I'm biased on this one. But he was really cool. He had a character arc. He learned a lot. He got introduced, obviously. These first movies are mainly to introduce the characters. Loki was great, but I also love Loki, so I'm biased on that as well. Their performances were all really good, and it kind of set up the character for Thor and Loki, which are super important, and that is time. So we're going to move on to Captain America, the first Avenger. Okay, this movie was incredible in my opinion. So this guy, he's a skinny boy who wants to be in the military, but he's an asthmatic, and so it's kind of holding him back. And he's got a lot of other problems with him physically, but he's the nicest guy ever. So he's really cool. The Avengers, 2012. This is a great movie. I don't think that 30 seconds is enough time to describe this because it's iconic. There are a lot of great shots that are actually brought back in Endgame. Spoilers. But yeah, it was insane. It brought all the characters together and that's the first time that I can think of that they actually did that. A studio brings together all of their characters for one big movie that stars all of them, and they work together. And that is time as well. So we'll be moving on to Iron Man 3. Okay. He's traumatized by New York and the black hole and stuff, and he gets sent to Canada because his suit did it as a default because I think his house blew up. I think. Thor: Dark World. All right, a lot of fans' least favorite movie. It had an incredible cinematography and shots and stuff, but it was really weird. I've said that a lot of times. The Marvel Cinematic Universe in its early days and years were weird. I guess we get that. So, it was cool though. It had Dark Elves, which was an introduction to different races and species and stuff. So, that was really cool. Thor also did pretty well, and Thor and Loki worked together, which I love. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Alright, I love this film. This is probably my favorite Marvel movie. He has modern technology and stuff, and it's crazy to see his arc of him between Bucky and S.H.I.E.L.D. Guardians of the Galaxy. Alright guys, this is such a great movie. It has Chris Pratt, and the Guardians are being introduced. It's a bunch of superheroes. They're all funny and making jokes and stuff, and they work together to save the universe with an Infinity Stone. Moving on to Avengers: Age of Ultron. Okay, probably my least favorite Avengers movie out of the four, but it was still actually alright. Ultron could have been better because AI is super scary, but they did a pretty good job with having all the characters work together, and all of them were super in character. They were all acting the exact way they should, which I think is good because sometimes characters won't, and that makes me really sad inside. Ant-Man. Nobody really cared that it happened. At least I didn't yet. But I thought it was super funny, and I actually really liked it. It was one of my favorite movies for like a couple months until another Marvel movie came out. Captain America: Civil War. Okay, this movie was incredible in my humble opinion. It's my opinion that you're listening to since you clicked on the video. But it was really cool. They had all of the superheroes come together, and it was the first time you saw them actually fight against one another for government versus like free stuff. And also had Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's been like my favorite superhero since I was 3. Doctor Strange. All right, this was an incredible movie introducing like the multiverse and the Time Stone, because it's like shifted everything with like magic and stuff, and it's like Earth has wizards now. I really like Doctor Strange. This guy was like super funny, then he got like traumatized like an actual person. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Okay, great movie compared to a lot of other ones. Moving on. Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming is incredibly insane. They had Peter Parker actually cast as a kid in high school, which they haven't done before, which I thought was really cool. And people are like, oh, who needs another Spider-Man movie? Then they saw it, and they were like, this is the best one. All right, Thor Ragnarok introduces Hela, Thor's sister, and she thinks that she's the rightful heir to the throne. So she goes to Asgard, destroys Mjolnir, and Thor and Loki and Valkyrie work together with the Hulk and Bruce Banner and save Asgard, but they don't really save it. They save the people because Asgard is a people, not a place. So they save Asgard, but the place explodes. But that's okay. I'm sure there's some place waiting for them on Earth. Black Panther. This was a great movie. I saw it in theaters as well. It could have been done better. The CGI was a little bit weird. But I thought it was a great idea, and I liked the superhero Black Panther himself, and I liked his sister was cool, and his general was cool, and his ex was cool, and everyone else was cool. So that works. Killmonger was cool. I already said everybody else, so I think he's included in that. It was really cool how they introduced Wakanda, which is super important in the next Avengers movies. Avengers Infinity War. Alright, I almost can't even get started on this movie. This movie was so insanely good. It was probably my favorite of the Avengers movies, as in 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this was a really cool movie. The character arcs were insane. They had their differences, but they also worked together, and Bruce Banner and Thor come back into the saga after being gone since Infinity War with one appearance in Thor Ragnarok. And basically, they try to save the world but lose for once, which we will see more of in a couple movies. So moving on to Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm just going to be totally honest, I didn't really like this movie, but that's okay because it gets important. I mean, I was watching this movie and I was like, this isn't going to be important for the thing, the entire saga, but we see that it is eventually. So, yeah, this movie was a little bit silly. It had some good jokes and stuff, but so do all the Marvel movies. Yeah, not really one of my favorites. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Okay, Captain Marvel. This was a lot of people's favorite movie, but it wasn't really mine. I'm just being honest, and that's not because I'm anti-feminist or anything. It could have been a great movie. I love the idea. Captain Marvel could have been a great superhero. Brie Larson just isn't charismatic like the other actors, all of them in the cinematic universe. She was kind of bad, actually. She had no emotions. They were like, emotion is your weakness, and then she didn't have any emotion, so basically no weakness. And some people might be like, oh, that's awesome, but they've got to have a weakness to be relatable. Okay, Avengers frickin' Endgame. Let's get started. The epic finale to the Infinity Saga. Heroes come together. The dead ones stay dead until the end. Spoiler alert. So emotional. I almost cried twice, and I've never cried in a movie, so that's insane. Anyway, this was so awesome. The part where Captain America grabs Mjolnir, which Thor had gotten from the past. The time travel used in the quantum zone from Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's just great. And this one gets another 30 seconds because it was 3 hours long. I love the way everything happened, except Thanos was not developed, and he was kind of a bad villain in this movie compared to Infinity War, but I guess that makes sense because he was Thanos from the past. But I went and saw it with my friends, and they were like freaking out when past Nebula came and like started meddling with everything. Anyway, great finale. Yeah, so that is just about it. That is the Infinity Saga for you. I can't think of a better saga. I mean, I liked this more than the Star Wars saga, and I think that's the best compliment that I can give. That is all, folks. I will see you next time. Special thanks to Matt, my brother, for letting me borrow his mic and camera. Thanks, Matt. Alright, I will see you guys next time.